All right, what's going on, everybody? I am Brett Morris. I'm going to be one of your hosts this evening, and I also host another show called Recovery Survey Podcast. So glad to have you with us on the live stream tonight. We also have our lovely co-host J.R. Weaver. What's going on, J.R.?
Hey everybody, what's up?
JR is the author of Addiction Manifesto. And let me just read off a couple of the awards that he has won here recently, because if you guys haven't read this book yet and you're sleeping on it like me, you should probably pick up a copy. He won the 2021 Reader's Choice Award, the 2021 American Writers Award, the 2021 Literary Titan Award, the 2021 Royal Dragonfly Award, and he was a finalist in the 2020 International Book Awards, which is pretty astounding if I do say so myself. And you might notice this fancy new QR code in the bottom next to our names, and that is where you can scan that little QR code. You can find out all about JR, or if I'm on the screen, you can scan it and find out. You can connect with us on social media or wherever, whatever we have on our Linktree accounts. So be sure to check those out as well.
You forgot the best part. 4 years sober.
Oh, 4 years. Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
And then we had a last minute change up, and we have a special guest tonight who is also the sponsor of tonight's episode. I guess I should have mentioned that first. Tonight's episode is sponsored by Broken Chains Apparel, and we're going to be doing a giveaway a little later on in the evening. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on tonight's guest, David Barnes. What is going on, David?
What's going on, guys? Hey, little last minute here, so I'm kind of
yeah
not well prepared, but I think I'm gonna grab some headphones here in just a second and see if that works out a little better for me.
Good to see you again, David.
Good to see you guys.
Thank you for the cool shirts, man. I love it.
Look good on you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, and for the people that are watching at home, David was invited on during the countdown, so he has no preparation, no nothing. He is just he's a real sport about this, and he's like, yeah, I'll jump on. So glad that you were able to join us on such short notice, David.
No problem.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, we met David. When did we meet up? Like 2 Saturdays ago?
Yeah, I believe it was. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about Broken Chains Apparel?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk in here where it's a little quieter, guys. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
You're good, man. You're good.
Yeah, so Broken Chains Apparel is my shirt business. It started off, I was going to just do a faith-based apparel business. But then I felt led to work with people in recovery. I've asked my daughter if I can share, and she said I could. So I had a daughter who was addicted to meth, and she's clean now 2 years. So, I decided to target my shirts to people in recovery because, when you get into recovery, man, you need to be proud of it. Right. And I try to get my shirts to create conversation because your testimony may be somebody else's beginning of their recovery. So that's kind of the goal, is to help others, just be proud of their recovery, for sure. And, right now I'm working, I give a little bit back to a local recovery house in Thomasville, North Carolina, to help them with some costs that they might incur, and I'm a small business, very small business, really just getting going with this. So this is huge for us. I really appreciate the opportunity to partner with you guys, to get in front of your viewers and work with you guys. So really, really appreciate it. Appreciate all the comments, guys. It means a lot. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it in a nutshell, really. We love for people to review our shirts, even if they haven't purchased one. Just go on our website, check them out, and let us know what you think. If you guys do purchase one or win one tonight, send us a picture with your shirt and leave us a nice review. We try and use high quality shirts, Bella Canvas, Next Level. Of course, we try and we try and keep the cost as low as possible, but just like everything else, products cost of products go up. Shipping's crazy right now. I'm sure JR, where you just shipped out a bunch of stuff this past week. So shipping's ridiculous this time of year. But we do anything over, I think on our site, it's anything over $50, you get free shipping. So basically 2 shirts or a shirt and a hoodie, you're going to get free shipping. So pretty good deal. But yeah, other than that, that's about all I got.
Yeah. I loved your stuff, man. I even bought another shirt and my fiance a shirt.
Yeah.
So this relationship's already paying dividends.
Yeah, and I now have 2 Broken Chain shirts.
I mean, I really like it, man. I love what it stands for, man.
Well, I appreciate it.
People can see that.
There you go. You're in full screen now, JR.
Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, man. I mean, me, I that was the missing part of my personal recovery, was my spiritual link. And so when you're telling me, you started like you pretty much faith-based and then took it from there. So, I mean, I know it hits home for a lot of our viewers, a lot of people in recovery, because, addiction takes you to hell, and recovery, opens your eyes to different things.
Right.
Oh, we got a question in the comments already. What does Broken Chain stand for?
So, it comes from the spiritual side, right? If you're a believer in Christ and you read the Bible at all, you find out there's like generational curses that can be passed on from generation to generation. And it gets to a point where somebody in that family has to break the chains, right? Break the chains of bondage. And that's how I look at addiction. It's a bondage that has you chained up and bound down. So the broken chains comes from breaking the chains of bondage of addiction, or whatever your addiction is, whether it's drugs, alcohol, pornography, eating disorder, whatever it is. But so it comes from that.
Okay.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
I'm still recouping. I started not a new job, but a new job location today. And it kind of has me a little wore out today. So I don't have my normal zest.
Got to channel the inner Jeff.
Oh yeah! Congratulations to Brad. Tell us about your big news, buddy.
Oh yeah. So it looks like my wife and I are going to be moving, getting our first home. We started on that process here recently, and we put some money down today, and it looks like we're going to be moving probably towards the beginning of January. So that's pretty exciting.
Very nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Recovery, man.
It is. It's one of the rewards, I guess, of recovery is having money to be able to do that kind of thing. It's just spending it all on dope.
Right.
And there's my wife in the comments with her celebratory hands raised and little whatever emoji that is.
You go from a 1-bedroom to a 4-bedroom. He's gonna set up his studio now.
That's right. I'm gonna have my own podcast studio instead of doing the live stream from the bedroom. So that's pretty exciting. I know it's probably not too apparent because I have this lovely backdrop from Amazon, but I am in my bedroom right now. We're very excited.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
Oh,
great.
she said party poppers. I didn't know what those were. Nice.
So, David, tell us about the. Don't you work at a I want to say a sober living facility?
No, actually,
Treatment
I
center.
work at a children's home.
Okay.
Yeah, so we work basically, we're actually going back tomorrow morning. But we work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. And so it's kids that are, in DSS custody from, neglect, abuse, whatever it is, for whatever reason they take them. But I am working, volunteering, helping a new recovery house that is just starting. They're actually looking for their first three men to start the program. They've got a house, they've got the recovery coordinator, everything like that. So I just actually met with the pastor today, and they're actually looking for people to put in there to start their program. So I mean, their goal is looking for people. It's going to be men right now, and they're looking to get guys, just coming out of incarceration. Because everybody knows, right? If you're an addict, if you go to jail, you come out, where are you going? You're going right back to where you came from. So their goal is to be able to house guys there. They'll have a welcome home party for when they come in. They'll have to get accepted into the program. They'll have a welcome home party. First 45 days will be nothing but focusing on their recovery. They won't have a job, anything like that, for the first 45 days. So there'll be somebody sponsoring them for the first 45 days. Then after the 45 days, they'll go into finding employment, beginning to work, paying some program fees, learning some responsibility again, things like that. It will be a Christ-centered 12-step program, being that it's, a Christian organization that's putting it on. So, I'm trying to help them get things going. I'll be working their social media accounts, helping them develop a new website, things like that. So with me, it's just volunteer with them. So yeah, it's kind of what I'm doing right now.
Man, good stuff. I mean, I wish I would have had something like that coming out of prison. Because, I went right back to the streets, man. Probably didn't last 48 hours.
Sure.
I mean, that's one of the biggest ways, to break the cycle of addiction,
Absolutely.
I mean, to me, they should be getting some type of treatment inside the penitentiary.
I agree.
I mean, bring some meetings in there, bring some peer support counselors in there, talk to them, give them some 12 steps, smart, whatever. Give them some kind of basic knowledge to where they can see that there is they do have a chance to break, to get out of that lifestyle, because that lifestyle is going to kill you or it's going to keep you in jail.
Right. Yeah. You've got to get away from everything that right? You have to begin, a life of doing things you've never done.
Well, congratulations, Crystal.
90 days.
Those 90 are the toughest. Keep it up.
We did have
one of our viewers from last week mentioned that she was celebrating 90 days on the 3rd. So we got a coin out tour this week. Crystal, did you get your coin?
We also had a question in the comments there for David asking, I'll put it on the screen. What kind of conversation do you want your brand to start?
I mean, really any conversation that could, like the shirt we're giving away tonight, I call it the R3 shirt, right? Art of the Third Power, recovered, redeemed, restored. So if you're walking down the street, somebody sees R with a number 3 on the front, they're going to ask, well, what is that? Right. And you kind of turn around, show them the back, and then you begin to, just kind of tell them your testimony. And your testimony could ultimately lead to, their first step of their own recovery. right, and start their testimony. So it's all about just creating any kind of conversation that could lead into that conversation of, getting clean, finding recovery, finding a sponsor, whatever it is. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much it, really.
Right on. And we got some more people. We got Mindy, who's going to have 11 months tomorrow.
Yeah,
Congratulations to Mindy.
Mindy. Sober from meth and alcohol. That's good stuff right there. I love it. I love it when people celebrate.
Larry picked up a year yesterday. Congratulations, Larry.
Mindy, I
Man.
totally agree with you that it's a demonic drug. Honestly, I think any drug is a demonic drug. It's it's a tool of the devil. Because I mean, what's he do? He comes to kill, steal, and destroy, right? So, that's his tools, how to get a hold of somebody and just ruin their life from inside out. It's bad.
Yeah, no, those streets are rough out there. I mean, I was out there running them for about 25, 27 years.
Wow.
I mean, I've bounced in and out of county jail, prisons. I probably have about 3 or 4 felonies to my name. I mean, I was at the point at the end of it, I was either, gonna die out there prison for about 15 years on the last batch of felonies that I picked up. I had 3 burglary seconds, 1 burglary third, property crime enhancement, and drug possession. So
wow.
I was looking at some major time before I changed.
Sure.
I mean, if I didn't change, I mean, thank God for Charleston County Drug Court. That's the program that saved my life.
Right.
Me turning around. That's when I started journaling, and that journal turned into this. I mean, my recovery's been simply amazing to me. And when you see someone like a Brett Morris getting a 4-bedroom house, I mean, that's good stuff, man.
Right.
You see your daughter come back, or your sons come back, after they've been distant from their family. I mean, I've done the same thing. I mean, my family. That's one of the biggest blessings for me was getting my family back. Them welcoming me back. I mean, because I totally shit on them when I was out there. I hate to say it, but it's the truth.
Yeah,
it's the ugly truth. I mean, we kind of try to sugarcoat it while we're out there. So no, we're not doing that bad. We're just distant, but
sure.
But it's rough out there.
Yeah, our daughter, when she was actively using, I mean, her whole personality changed, her whole demeanor changed. She stayed away from us because she knew if she was around us that we would know. And the one time she came over, I mean, I think I told you guys when I first met you, JR, was, she was sitting there and she was just, constantly just messing, right? Just high at that point. And that started a pretty serious conversation. I won't go into the details of the conversation, but it was a pretty serious conversation.
I could imagine that conversation from a parent to their
let's just say a parent will go to any length to save their child. And I won't say the lengths that I told her I would go to, but you can use your imagination.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I think he might have told us a little bit about it when we were on that Zoom call the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, I'm grateful for you, man. I mean, you are a blessing to us. I mean,
thank you.
I mean,
well, listen, what you guys are doing is awesome, right? I mean, you're reaching hundreds of thousands of people. which is great because, before social media, I mean, there would have never been this outreach to people looking for recovery or people in recovery, right? And now, in this past year and a half with COVID, I mean, it's been about the only way people could really connect, and so, thank you guys for what you're doing. I mean, it's awesome. It just lets a lot of people know that there is hope out there, and they can find help.
Yeah, man. I mean, that was the thinking behind doing the adding the podcast to the page. I mean, we reach a lot of people through our regular posts, but to me, if I'm someone struggling in early recovery and I have a chance to sit in and watch a conversation, that hits pretty deep right there. I mean, you hear your story and someone else's story, and then you see how they turned it around, and then that gives you the hope that you could do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's the same, when you go to a meeting and you see people that you might have been partying with out there on the streets, and then all of a sudden you go walk into this strange meeting and they're chairing the meeting. I mean, I have a friend like that. She was one of my early inspirations. I might have had 2-3 months, and I walked in the meeting and she's sitting there chairing the meeting. I'm like,
Yeah, definitely. And I totally agree with that as well. I mean, for me, especially in early recovery, hearing other people's stories and like finding that connection of people that have been through similar situations as me, like that was one of the things that really kept me coming back, was just that connection that I made with other people. I love our literature, I love the books and stuff. Like, don't take it that way. Like, I love recovery literature, but that connection of like, and like you said, like seeing people that we've used with, like seeing them in the rooms, man. Like, I've run into one of my old dealers at a meeting. I've run into people I've used with at meetings. Like, it's crazy to see the transformation in their lives, and just to reconnect and be like in this positive light, and be able to just being able to relate is such a huge part of recovery for me, man. Like, that community is key. Like we were talking about a few weeks ago, with Liz and the Phoenix, and just being able to like find a safe place where you can do activities and like meet other like-minded people is such a huge thing.
yeah, exactly. That's one of the things I want to do with the Recovery Revolution 501c3, is to be able to sponsor those community activities to get people in recovery together, and actually and get them together with regular people. I mean, because we have to bridge that gap right there, because there's such a distance between regular society and people in recovery. We kind of like keep it separate. So I want to get them together, just to show everyone that people in recovery are, you know so form that bond. But I know how tough one to get, because a lot of people
Oh, I think JR froze up a little bit there for a second. That's all right. The show
open the
will go
path
on.
for the
Oh, there he
next
is.
person. I mean, that's what I was telling someone. I said it may not happen in my lifetime, but I'll help blaze the trail.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it's like, we shoot messages back and forth a little bit, over the last week, is, you know, changing how people perceive addicts, right? Um, they're not just a junkie on the side of the street, right? They're not just, trash that you just throw away to the side and just leave them to suffer and die, by themselves, right? They're still a person. There's still
Right.
a soul inside there. There's somebody's kid. There's somebody's mom, dad, aunt, uncle, brother, sister, whatever it is. So we really have to change how people view addicts and understand it's, what, okay, we made a bad choice, and that choice led into an addiction, and I don't think any addict wants to stay an addict. um,
Right. That's not something we want to grow up to be when we're young. You know, I wanted to be Batman.
Yeah, right. I mean, so, I think anybody that becomes an addict wants to get clean. They just they're too embarrassed, right, to say anything to maybe family or friends that maybe don't know about it. Um, they I don't know, they've hurt people, so maybe people don't trust them anymore, and they feel that they can't be trusted. Um, but we just have to change. We have to somehow find a way to change the world's perception on who addicts really are, and why they are the way they are. And to help them.
Yeah. I mean, we still got a long way to go, but
Oh yeah,
today it's a little bit easier than it was yesterday. So,
sure.
I mean, to me, we got to have more people that aren't afraid to recover out loud and to wear the shirts that start the conversations. You know, as a light for other people that are trying to find their way, but they don't know how to ask about it or do it. And they
Right.
see somebody that's doing it, then more than likely they'll come talk to them.
Sure.
I mean, that's what all of us are here for, is, shine that light for everyone.
Right. At the children's home, we have a single mom's house there, and actually one of the girls, I mean, she's 16 maybe, has a kid. She was on meth, got clean. Actually, she's been clean a little over a year. Her first day coming into care was her first, I think, her first day of being sober, being clean. And found out I had this shirt business, and she really liked some of the shirts. So, I gave her a couple shirts. She's a kid in care, right? But I mean, she loves these shirts, and she's so proud that she's in recovery, and she's wearing these. So, she wears these shirts, and she don't care that anybody knows that she was an addict, because she's not an addict anymore, right? So it's just really cool, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And that's a huge part of it too, man. Like, I didn't know when I was trying to get clean, I didn't know where to go to get help. I didn't know about meetings. My only knowledge of meetings was from movies and TV shows, and like seeing them portray like a 12-step meeting on a movie. I didn't even know where the meetings were or how to find them. And I think that's also what JR is talking about, the importance of recovering out loud, and people knowing that we're in recovery, man. Because even with me starting the podcast, like, I've had so many people that have messaged me that have been like, "Oh man, I didn't even know you were in recovery. Like, that's awesome. Congratulations." Or I've had other people reach out, send me messages like, "Hey man, I'm struggling. Can you give me some advice?" Like, I didn't even know that they were using, and just, it's amazing how much of an impact we can have when we're willing to recover out loud, and be willing and vulnerable, and let people know the struggles that we've gone through.
Sure.
Amen, brother. Amen. I see Jeff Vickers in the audience. He wanted to be Spider-Man growing up. Now he's a Pulitzer Prize sober author.
Yeah. I love Sarah Burke's Jessica Rabbit, right?
It's awesome. So David, what are some short-term goals that you have for Broken Chains Apparel?
Short term is just, just get the brand out there, to the recovery community. Where maybe start seeing people with the shirts on social media, right, wearing the shirt, and tagging us in it. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, just want to get the brand out there to people short term. Um, just so people can start conversations, and help others get into recovery. Long term would be, you know, to have just this solid brand that is just turning a nice revenue, where I could take that revenue and put into, like this local recovery house that we have that I'm volunteering with called the Foundry House, and then the one I donate to, Tristan's Haven. Being able to put money back into programs. I don't know, maybe eventually, the brand gets big enough and we start our own, recovery house or program or something like that. I mean, who knows what the future holds, right? But, I'll take it as far as God lets me, for sure, to reach as many people as possible. That's the ultimate goal is to just reach as many people as possible, to let them know that there is hope, there is help, and they can get clean and they don't have to stay in that lifestyle.
Amen. This is for the viewers. Last week, David had mentioned I don't know if it's a contest that he was talking about designing a recovery T-shirt. I mean, we're gonna pin it to, and we're gonna take ideals for a shirt. And he said the winning design will have their name on the shirt.
Yeah. So what we'll do is, whoever, I would love to see a lot of entries, right? Some artwork, because I'm sure we've got a lot of talented artists on here, or just creative thinkers. A lot of times it doesn't have to be artwork, right? It can just be a really cool saying or something on a T-shirt, or it can be great artwork. And then we'll I don't know, we'll figure out a way to vote on it. Maybe let the audience vote. And then whoever wins, we'll get their design on a shirt, a hoodie, whatever it is, and we'll have, we'll get their signature, put their signature underneath the design on the shirt or hoodie, and in the product description on the website, we'll list them as the artist. We'll put it on our social media platform, Instagram and Facebook, trying to get into the TikTok thing. I haven't figured that out real well yet, but we'll even maybe get it on there somehow. But yeah, just looking to help other people out too.
Yeah, and if the audience is interested, what are your social media handles? How can they find you?
Broken Chains Apparel.
That's easy enough.
Yep.
Nice.
You have a Facebook page and a webpage. Can we post it in the comments?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, give me just a second, because I have I typically I'm prepared, but I'm not used to this last minute guest situation. But I will get it in I'll put it up on the screen here in just a minute.
I like that high on sobriety.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I never would have thought of that one.
That's what I'm saying.
Because I'm old school.
So many things that can come up that I can't think of, and my family can't think of. So we'll run a contest and see how it goes. But I'll get you guys sometime after the show, and we'll talk about how we want to do that, and we'll get it across the platforms.
Yeah, I'm thinking something like a 30 days window.
Yeah,
I mean that should get you a couple hundred at least.
absolutely.
Here, question for you, David. What if it's I've made a couple for Recovery Survey, but I haven't ever really pushed my merch, and they're recovery related, but they aren't necessarily branded for the podcast itself. Can I submit those designs?
Sure, why not? JR, what are your thoughts there? I don't see why not.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, if we're voting, it's democracy, right?
That's right.
We probably have like 2 votes, but
yeah.
Just kidding, man.
I mean, that's all right.
My favorite so far is High on Sobriety. I like that one.
Yeah. I like the iHeart meetings.
Boom.
That's kind of
there you go, JR.
So y'all know I just seen that, and honestly, you know, JR actually ordered the shirt. It's I Heart Recovery.
Yeah, yeah, that's
so,
my favorite.
yeah, that's a cool shirt.
And I shall be wearing it for next week's episode.
Cool.
And there's his website on the bottom of the screen there for you guys,
Yep.
brokenchainsapparel.com.
Yep.
You want to run the you guys want to do the contest now?
You want to do the contest or you want to do your video?
Oh yeah, let's do a pause for the video.
Pause for the video. We've already gone through all of your accolades, but you know,
Unless you want to break out the electric harmonica.
It's a kazoo, sir.
Kazoo, my bad.
Kazoo. Now we'll do the video. I think it's better. I need to polish up on my kazoo skills.
Wow.
Nice. That was good.
I love
stuff.
that. I love that video, man.
That's awesome.
I think we should play it every week. I think that should be part of your intro.
Sure.
That's just me though. But if you do want me to, I can play, and this might be a live stream first, an electric kazoo.
First time ever.
It's got a little microphone built in.
Let's hear it, man. Come on, man.
I should have practiced, man. I should have practiced.
Your wife's
I'm just trying to think of what else. I'm trying to think of what else I could stick that little microphone in. I feel like the possibilities are endless, and my wife is loving that.
All right, let's hit the contest. Let's get someone a free
Let's
shirt.
do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I got to remember how to do it.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I got to remember how to do it. Oh, here it is. Share. No, that's not the right. Is that the right one? Share screen.
You giving us a drum roll?
I should be on the. Yeah. I gotta turn the mic back on. Oh, too loud. That's just me stalling. All right, here we go.
Ronald.
All right, Alvin.
Congratulations.
Alvin McGuire, he won a book last week. I just spelled out his book the other day.
That's 2 weeks
Alvin,
in a row, man.
You're in Gulfport? Was Alvin the one from Gulfport?
I can't remember. Can't remember his location. Larry said it sounds like a duck call. I bet I could put the mic in a duck call. That would be pretty good. Oh, there's Alvin.
Oh, he was the one from Gulf. Hey, check it out. I was born in Biloxi. I'm right next door, but I lived in Gulfport. Jeff's hating on him.
Yeah, they said Alvin got it rigged.
I think that's probably Jeff.
Let's give a shout out to Jeff Vickers, Sober Slogans.
Yeah, and he has his new video show, his live stream videos on Saturday night, Pardon My Reach, right here on the Recovery Revolution page. So be sure to check those out as well.
Fire.
Hey, so who should we have Alvin contact with his size that he needs and the address and stuff to send it to?
Alvin, what's your size shirt you wear? I have his address.
Okay.
I can send that to you. It's in the our messages.
Now, Alvin, these are a fitted tee, so just so you know, they're a fitted T-shirt.
Yeah, you might go up a size because I ordered an XL and it's a little snug. It's showing off how unathletic I am.
I know. Okay, he says on large. So JR, if you'll get me his address, just shoot that over to me tonight. I'll
Oh, he said XL then if it's a athletic fit.
Okay. All right, we'll do that.
You got colors,
get me
colors or
out to him.
Is it? Was that a picture of the actual shirt, Brett? And that's red, right?
Yeah, you sent me
Okay.
you sent me a picture of a red and a blue. I just used the red one because it kind of goes with our color scheme here.
Okay.
So I guess it's up to
scheme?
I guess it's up to David.
So I didn't know we had a color scheme.
Alvin, you like red, black, or blue?
Red it is.
I always said red. I was gonna play a little kazoo to instead of I have the game show music. Why did I even play the kazoo, JR? I have that 80s game show music locked and loaded, man.
Because you've been waiting to bust that thing out.
I have been waiting, man. Like how often do you get to play an electric kazoo? Not very often, man. Not very often.
Does anybody have any questions for David or for Brad or myself? Anyone want to say anything about Brad's red beard?
I did trim it back a little bit since the last live video.
I'm thinking about cutting this off. Well, we appreciate you coming on last second, David. I mean,
thanks for having me.
Very last second.
Yeah, I know. We're talking a minute and a half before we're kicking off.
Right.
Yeah, for people that were here for Tracy, something she did not show up. I hope she's okay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to her. We were messaging back and forth about 2 hours before we went live. So I don't know what happened to her. We've been talking on and off all week. So if anybody hears from her, let us know, because that's kind of odd. Like, we confirmed times and everything, and it's really strange. So hopefully she is okay.
Yeah, I hope she's okay. I mean, maybe we can get her on for another show.
Larry said stage fright. I'm not. That's a possibility,
I don't know.
I guess.
I find it so much easier to be on screen than actually standing in front of a room full of people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've done it. I mean, in my early recovery, I had to stand in front of my first engagement. I had to speak to, I think it was probably like 60 people, and then my next one was like over 100.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was nerve-wracking. This right here, easy.
Right.
Easy peasy.
I agree. I would much rather be behind a camera than behind a podium.
Exactly.
Yeah. Broken Chains Apparel.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, we want to get your link set up in our store, man. I mean, I want to get people to your webpage.
Yeah, appreciate
check you out, man. Because I liked what I saw. I mean, if you got me to open up the wallet, you're doing it right.
Yeah. Yeah, and just so everybody knows, I mean, you'll read it when you go to the website, but right now we're doing 15% of our sales is going to Tristan's Haven. And Tristan's Haven's in Thomasville, North Carolina. I actually work with a guy who helps out over there, but the girl, her name was Tristan. Her sister was actually a lifeguard at our children's home, and I talked to her. So Tristan graduated high school. While she was in high school, it's kind of like most people, right? Go to a party, have a drink. And then after, some drinks, over time, it led to popping some pills. Pills got too expensive. So then she started shooting up. And unfortunately, when she was 18, She lost her life to addiction, and her mom had found her. It's just heart wrenching. She was a beautiful girl, just outgoing, everything like that. So, part of our sales goes to help them out, and it might just be, maybe buying pizza for a meeting one night, or taking them out bowling, or something like that. So, just know that when you guys do buy something from our website, it's not just money going in my pocket, right? It's actually going to help another cause too. So
Okay. That's a great cause, man.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Any other questions for anybody on here tonight? Whether it be David or our celebrity co-host JR. Ah,
Larry
you're too
Birmingham.
humble, man.
Don't tell me that's a Roll Tide.
Oh, don't say that
I
too
can't
loud.
see
My
his
wife
icon,
will
but
be blowing up. My wife will be blowing up the chat. Don't be hating on Bama.
Yeah, I lost money on that game. Well, I lost a pack of cigarettes. Georgia did not show up. We do appreciate you stepping up, David. I mean, we know it's last second, and
hey, it's all good. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, I'm glad you were able to jump on. JR and I were talking right before we went live, and I was like, what do we do? This has never happened before. We've never had a guest no show. I was like, this is just gonna be the two of us talking.
Right.
I was getting ready to dial Jeff Vickers.
Hey,
I just wanted JR to share his story, but
yeah,
I guess I got to read the book.
right.
Hey, you read Anna's book, man. Yeah, I'm holding that on you, man.
I know. I'll get to it.
Hey,
Maybe after the move.
Brett, what was it? About a year ago, you and I connected, I think, right?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
I reached out when I started my Instagram page and was really trying to start growing the business. I reached out to Brett, and he was gracious enough to do just a small little advertisement for me on his podcast, which was very much appreciated. I sent him a shirt, for doing that for me. And then, what was it, a little over a week ago, he reached out to me to find out if I'd want to, join this community partnership with Recovery Revolution and Brett's page, Recovery Survey. So, huge thanks to you for reaching out and thinking of me. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, of course, man. And you were my very first advertisement on the podcast. So you have a special place in my heart.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Love it. It just goes to show relationships, right? It's good to build good relationships with people because you never know where it might lead, right? So
that's right.
Exactly. That's what I always tell people: grow your influence. I mean,
right.
I didn't get here, overnight. I mean, it's taken, like the page itself. I mean, we didn't start the Recovery Revolution page till December of 2018, and I remember when it was just me and the wifey.
Right.
I mean, I was thinking, well, it's just going to be us two posting stuff on here.
Sure.
And look at you now.
Yeah, I love that comment of love how the recovery community comes together. I ride motorcycles too, right? So it kind of reminds me of the biker community, right? When somebody's in need, they're people are willing to come and help, and that's what's awesome. And it's important. It's important to have communities like that you can count on and depend on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we had a guest on a few weeks back. I don't know if you remember her, Brett, Kate. Was she the nurse
Yeah.
in Washington?
That sounds right. I think it was Washington.
Yeah. She was a sober curator. Yeah, she was like a mental health nurse, and I guess they put her in charge of HR. And then she was like, when someone mentions that about recovery, you know, she pays attention. I mean, that tells people that, and don't hide that you're in recovery. I mean, because you never
Right.
know who's going to, respond to you in a certain way. I mean,
Yeah, it's true. It's true, man. I mean, who knew that this would happen? Like you said, with the whole recovery community thing, man. Like
Sure.
I started
yeah, I
off
mean,
I started my podcast with a $20 mic from Amazon and an idea, and here we are, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like, I don't know. Sometimes it
Yeah.
still kind of blows my mind that dreams like that can come true, man. But that I feel like that's a testament to recovery, is just the fact that once we put down our vice, like anything becomes possible.
Sure.
And there's
all right,
Jeff
David, if you had
just
some
beginning.
advice for a newcomer, what would it be?
Was that to me?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I thought you were deep in thought or something.
No. Yeah. I mean, that's a really good question, right? It's, don't be afraid. There's probably a lot more people than you realize in recovery. I know a lot of people, in recovery, and family, friends, acquaintances, things like that. I mean, there is so many people in recovery, and the biggest thing is find a program. Don't try and do it on your own. Find a safe group, a Celebrate Recovery or an NA or an AA or, something somewhere. If you don't think you can, kick it without going into a detox, find a detox center, I mean, just take the first step. The first step is going to be the most important step, because if you never take the first step, you're never going to get there. So just don't be scared to take the first step. Reach out to somebody. I mean, reach out to me or JR, Brett. Anybody that's been on this podcast, I'm sure you could reach out to, and they would help.
Nice. All right, you next, Brett.
Oh, my advice to a newcomer?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good question. I would say, the first thing, and they say it at the beginning of every NA meeting is give yourself a break. We can't be too hard on ourselves, especially early on in our recovery, man, because at least for me, like the first little bit it was a fog, it was a haze. Like, I'm coming off of dope and I'm starting to feel feelings again, and I'm trying to figure out like what's going on with my life. Like, for me, I was on probation, so I'm figuring out, probation stuff. I'm having to get a job so I can make probation payments. Like, there's all these things that are going on in my life, and it can be really overwhelming at first, man. So just take it easy. And like David said, find that community. Like, that's one of the biggest pieces. And I can't emphasize it enough, man. The recovery community and how important that is. Get some phone numbers, find some people that you can hang out with that aren't using, because that's a huge part too. Because at least for me in the beginning, I felt like all my friends are using. I'm now trying not to use. I don't know where else to go. I don't know anybody. And just like building those relationships and like having people to go out to eat with after a meeting, or like hang out with on a weekend or something, like that was a huge part for me, was finding that community and feeling like I belonged was a huge thing for me. What about you, JR? Ha ha.
I like what both you guys said, but I totally agree. I mean, it's about community. That's the one thing that will really get you through those rough days. Like my counselor told me to have 5 emergency phone numbers I could call anytime in case I ever needed it. I'm glad I never did, but I mean that's just the start. You got to have those people that that are your ride or dies that'll be there for you in a blink of a moment when you need it. I mean, because that addiction isn't gone. And to comment on what David said, I think I did some research, and there are currently 23 million people in active recovery right now. So that's a lot of people.
Wow.
I mean, you don't know who's in recovery if they're not recovering out loud. It goes beyond the meetings, because you can only be in a meeting for an hour or two a day, but what are you gonna do with the rest of those 22 hours? You gotta build your community, you gotta build your support network. I mean, you got to just keep doing the right thing, even if it scares you. I mean, you can't let your past define who you all got past. I mean, look at my past, my shitty past. I mean, I've done a lot of dirt in my past, but I kind of take what I do now as sort of like penance for paying for those sins. And I'm grateful to be here tonight. I'm grateful for the recovery revolution. I'm grateful for my relationships that I could be present for now. So that's the beauty of a recovery community. So I mean, you meet some amazing people. You never know. I mean, if you hold yourself back, you're only stopping yourself.
And I like Larry's comment. He said, "My story might be someone else's lifeboat."
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Yeah.
It's not bad for a corn husker. Just kidding, Larry.
Guys. It's like the president of my motorcycle ministry says. I'm part of a motorcycle ministry too, but when we go to events or we host events or whatever, he says, don't just stand around, go fellowship, because that person that you talk to may become your best friend, right? Yeah, or your lifeline for a situation. So don't be scared to talk to people.
That's what I tell people that are new. I mean, get to the meeting, 15, 20 minutes early, stay 15, 20 minutes late, meet people. Right.
Absolutely.
All right, guys, I'm ready to call it a night, man. I'm exhausted. I know David is too. He's looking like he's ready to lay down.
He's ready for a nap.
Trying to get mentally prepared to go back to work for 2 weeks. So,
Ooh.
Well, David, the clock. Yeah, man. Thank you again for coming on. Complete the literal definition of last minute.
Yeah, thank you for the donation too, man. Thank you for the shirts, dude.
Sponsoring the shirt tonight. Yeah. Sponsoring the show, giving away a shirt. Good stuff, man. I appreciate everything you're doing for us.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, just paying it forward, right?
Yeah, pay it forward.
That's right.
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been another episode of Recovery Revolution. The audio version of tonight's video will be live in about an hour or so. I also have another podcast called Recovery Survey. It comes out every Wednesday in the morning time. So if you're looking for some more recovery stuff, check that out. Follow both of those podcasts in your favorite podcast app. And we will be back next Monday at the same time with another guest. Have a good night, everybody.